BBC Radio Lincolnshire.
8 minutes past 7. Now, let me read you a tweet, and I'm with Nina on this, who's tweeted this. Nina tweeted this, and it started a bit of a debate. So Nina put this on Twitter. She says, I'm confused as to why people are staying in the left lane the whole way down the Lincoln bypass. Triple question mark. That's how confused she is. That's how many question marks she's put on it. Use both lanes until they merge into one, and you might find you're not sat in traffic for half as long. To that, I say hear, hear, Nina, because I've had this as well. You know, when you're driving in Lincoln on Pelham Bridge and you're driving in the direction to go out of Lincoln and there are two lanes. And I'm not sure whether there's a sign that says use both lanes. Maybe there used to be. I don't know if it's still there. But for some reason, even though, and I think I'm right, and we'll get some expert opinion on this in a minute, you're meant to use both lanes. A lot of people insist on using the left-hand lane. And if you do what you are allowed to do and use the right-hand lane, and then when you get to the bit where it merges, just politely indicate to go into it, some people give you evils and won't let you in. You know, give you a bit of a stare. And I've even had people sort of signal as if I'm wrong being in the right-hand lane. Because that's allowed, isn't it? Obviously, you're not meant to zoom up there really quickly and then just barge your way in. But if you do it correct, that is what you're meant to do. The whole point, presumably, is that if you've got two lanes of traffic, then people aren't just stuck in one. That's common sense, isn't it? It appears not, as Nina says. This is happening, and a lot of people got debating about that. Similar situation happened on the Humber Bridge Facebook page, where they brought this up, saying, look, you can use both lanes, you know. And then people, even though they were told you can, were saying, well, no, that's not right. I don't like these people who sneak in. Let's get some expert advice for you on this. Let's speak to Neil Grieg, who is the Director of Policy and Research from IAM RoadSmart's. He's with us live on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. This happens a lot, Neil. What's going on?
It does. It seems that these days you have, particularly at roadworks, you have miles and miles of empty right-hand lane, and there is actually a rule in the Highway Code, rule number 134. I have it before me as I speak, and that actually says that merging in turn is recommended if it's safe and appropriate to do so. But there's also another rule that says that you shouldn't overtake to beat queuing traffic. So the Highway Code's a bit unclear on this, and we seem to have developed this practice whereby everybody goes into the left lane as soon as possible, often when it says roadworks a mile ahead, for example, and you end up with long tailbacks.
Now, the problem with this is, I think people have got fearful of going in the right-hand lane because of this issue. When you merge, people feel you're jumping the queue, but you're not jumping the queue. The Highway Code, that rule you've quoted, suggests that's what you should be doing, obviously in a polite and respectful manner.
Exactly, and I think it's the fact that there's no definition of the recommended speed. There's no sort of real definition of what they're actually talking about in terms of queuing traffic and so on, and of course, it just seems through custom and practice, people sit in the left-hand lane, and then you often get people, I've seen many people actually take it upon themselves to then block the right-hand lane to stop people going past, and they're actually slowing the traffic down there. They're going slower than they need to go themselves. They're actually causing more of the problems. Just let people sort out. I think because of the way it's working out now, even though the Highway Code says this, we probably do need to have signs, particularly at long-term road work, particularly at long-term merge points, which just say merge in turn. They often have that the zip sign, it's there in the Highway Code again, very rarely used.
Yeah, it is a bit strange how we've got in this mentality, isn't it? I mean, you see it. So Pelham Bridge in Lincoln is a good example that I give, and I don't know, because people give you a stare, don't they, or even gesture when you merge.
Absolutely. I mean, you can get some real road rage out of this, and it's a very fine line. As I say, there's no definition. One person's overtaking to get personal advantage is another person's using the Highway Code as laid out. So it's the same with things like close following and centre lane hogging. There's no actual legal definition of these things, and that means, of course, certain people then take on their own idea, and one person, as I say, may see it as aggressive. Another person might see it as just doing what they're supposed to be doing.
But you're saying, really, you think, although there's a little bit of vagueness in the rules and regulations, you think you're quite safe to do it as long as you do it in a polite and respectful manner.
I think if you have got very slow moving traffic, merge and turn helps to get more traffic through. If you've got traffic going a bit faster, the traffic is free flowing, then that's when it becomes a grey area. It's when that speed picks up, then it becomes a bit more dangerous for people to go right to the end and merge and turn. But the trouble is there is no legal definition of what that speed is.
Neil Grieg is from IAM RoadSmart's, saying, there is a little bit of confusion, but actually the rules suggest you can do it in the way he explains. Richard says the top of Lindham Hill in Lincoln is another example of poor merging traffic. Many drivers straddle the centre line to protect their space. Phil says, I think these left-hand laners, as he calls them, he's given them a name, must be the ones that turn into middle laners on the motorway. Let me know. Maybe you are a left-hand laner and you're proud and you will not use the right-hand lane and merge and turn, as you can do. Because if you are adding to congestion. And I don't understand why you would sit at the end of it. This is what I've seen on Penham Bridge. People getting on the end of, sitting for ages when there's a completely spare lane the other side, which you're allowed to use. And then everything would flow a bit faster. What is going on? Let me know your experiences.